Nice to see you again.
Peace, it's great to see you. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm good, I'm good. Do you love the holiday time? Are you in the spirit?
I love it, I love it. It's my favorite time. Christmas time is my favorite time of the year.
Me too. It's the twinkly lights, man. Makes me feel good.
It just reminds me just of being a kid and just, man, I just see so much joy out there, and it's like, I feel like everybody loves to come together.
Yeah.
And we get excited about the twinkly lights.
Yes.
Just whatever, it's the Christmas songs.
Yeah, I know, and it feels good. What's been like a favorite gift you've either given someone or you've received?
Well, my mother always tells me that her favorite gift from me is when I stay longer with her for Christmas. so she says, like, if I stay extra days, that's her best gift. So that's my best gift, to be able to just stop that time and be there with my mother.
I hope my son is you when he grows up. I hear you're also an eggnog fan. Did she make eggnog? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, she used to make eggnog growing up all the time, but
so
then
good.
I became vegan, so I gotta find my little...
Yeah, well, we heard that you were vegan, and also I like alcohol, so I thought we would bring some vegan, thank you, Sal, this is our vegan eggnog, and if you want to spike it, you can.
I will spike. I'm
gonna spike it, Common, just to celebrate you.
Okay, we gonna
that's the only reason. Cheers, it's
Cheers,
Christmas.
Kelly.
Look
Christmas.
at that. Look
Eye
at that.
contact, eye
contact. You got it.
Eye contact.
My whole band is like that. Ooh, I didn't stir it, did I?
It got a kick. It got a kick. It definitely got a kick to it.
So your mom was a teacher. My mom was a teacher as well. So what did you say? Like, because I remember when I told my mom, hey, I'm gonna move to LA and live on a mattress in this person's house, and I'm gonna be a singer. She's a teacher, so it was like, oh, what's your fallback plan? And you know, she was real nervous. Was your mom?
Oh, my mother, she didn't even know I rapped, really. And I was in my second year of college, and I was like, Mom, I'm about to leave college to go pursue my music career. And she was like, what? Like, are you crazy? She was like, yo, because all she knew was education. And that's how she had made it. And she's an amazing teacher, and she became a principal.
And education is opportunity. So when your kid says that, you go, oh, super.
But it's so much to education. Like you know, education is like learning about health, learning about self. Emotional education is, we learn creative education.
Yeah, life skills.
Life skills is all. But you know, my mother was academic education. But so once I left school, I said, Mom, I'm leaving. This is my dream. She was like, no, don't do it, don't do it. But fast forward, now she's like, hurry up and make an album. I need a new trip to Jamaica.
I need a new trip.
I need a trip to Jamaica for my birthday, you know.
When did you, like, win her over? You know what I'm saying? In that decision. Like, when did you win her over and she was like, oh, okay?
It's a little bit of time, okay? My third album. My third album was when I won over, because my third album actually had an album, the cover was she and I.
Oh, that's how you won it over.
That's how I won over. I put
it
on the album cover, and her friends, like, part of our advertisements and promo was, it was all over park benches in Chicago. So her friends started calling us saying, hey, Ann, I see you on these park benches, you and Rashid for his album. And my mother's like, oh, you're doing good, son. This is good,
She's like, now you know what you're doing. You involved me.
You involved me, exactly.
I love it. All right, let's take a quick break. David and our audience is all set to help us out.
Hey, Kelly and Common, I'm a huge fan. I go by B. Coming up, we got one of the greatest hip-hop producers of all time up in the building. Pete Rock joins Kelly and Common on stage. Don't go anywhere.
All right. We are back with Common. Y'all give it up. His latest album is called The Auditorium Volume 1. It's nominated for 2 Grammys and is available right now wherever you get your music. So you also have, because I love Silo. You're on Silo.
Yeah, you've been checking out Silo?
Yes, I like Silo.
Thank you so much.
How do you love being a part of that show?
I mean, it's one of the greatest, like, experiences I've had as an actor. Like, working on a show that's written so incredible. It's on Apple TV, which they just do incredible
It's interesting,
stuff.
too, the concept,
The concept is it's so relative to now. And then working with Rebecca Ferguson and Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins is one of my favorite actors. Like, Shawshank Redemption, I watched it over and over.
Oh, my God.
So to be able to be, like, doing, like, what would you call
Scenes
it? Not only scenes, but, like, back and forth. It's scenes.
Yeah, that chemistry with them,
It's amazing, man. And I just love the show.
It's a cool
man.
show.
Thank you.
I know, you do everything. I see you everywhere. I'm like, dang. So you were just on tour, right?
Yeah, we were on tour.
And is it's you pull people up on stage? That's a brave move, because sometimes that can't work out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is a brave move, but I kind of like the spontaneity and, like.
Has the spontaneity ever gone awry, Common?
Yeah, just on this tour that Pete Rock and I were on, touring the Auditorium. I called a young lady on stage because I like kind of serenade her with this song I have called "Come Close," and I freestyle to her. I usually freestyle to her.
Yeah.
So I brought this young lady up, and we actually had a dope set. It was like a couch and everything. So she gets to the couch, and I'm trying to rap to her, and she wants to go into her whole stripper. She goes into a whole stripper dance. Like, I can't calm her down. Like, she's doing everything.
I can't calm her down.
Taking the microphone from me. Like, she really did a whole strip thing. Like,
where did you think she was? Like,
I don't know, man, but it was funny. But I had to work my way through it with the freestyle, like, try to figure out how to.
Well, that's a tricky situation, because you don't know if she's being funny or real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like walking the line of insulting you or playing along with it. It's like, yeah.
Well, I actually insult people sometimes on stage. if they being a little like too wild, I'm just go freestyling. Like, ain't no politically correct. I'm just gonna give it to you. Like, and I mean,
because obviously someone hasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say nothing to hurt her, but it was just more like,
calm down.
Calm down.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Calm down. This is a couch, not a pole. So you mentioned, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was
so
funny.
you mentioned this set on tour for the Auditorium. So tell us about it. It's the couch and the whole setup. It looks like it's a vibe.
It's a whole vibration because it's like we wanted to create this.
It looks like a set, like on Broadway.
Set. We wanted to create like something that felt like theater, and that set was based on Pete Rock's basement. Kind of, it's like us imagining what his basement is and just bringing people to the basement. And it felt like every night it felt like we were doing a play / a sitcom, and I love theater.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring that to our live performance, and Pete and I did it. We took people through this journey of music and through our storytelling.
Yeah.
So we hope to get it to Broadway at some point soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Well, the new album is nominated for 2 Grammys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you don't do it to get nominated, but it's so cool, like, to work on something that you love, and then it gets like that's validating.
You know, you put your heart and soul into things, and your joy too. And this is just a joy just to be mentioned in this. It's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. Well, also joining us now is Common's collaborator on the Auditorium. He's a musical pioneer who's made songs for renowned artists like Run DMC, Nas, and Public Enemy. And that list is incredible. And he's considered by many as one of the greatest hip-hop producers of all time. Everybody, please welcome Pete Rock. Dressed up because I knew I was singing with Brett a Christmas song, but I feel real out of place right now. I'm like, I am overdressed for this party.
Y'all doing shots?
Yeah. Oh, would you like some vegan? We have, thank you, Sal, some vegan.
Can I do the shot?
Yes, you can. You're gonna need that because it's not real. Yeah. Oh, you're just gonna do the shot? I should have done that. I should have done just the shot. You're a smart man. Yeah. So what did you think when Common called you out the Grammys, the nominations?
Man, I couldn't believe.
Because you've been doing it, you know, for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
The excitement was crazy. I mean, you know, I've, you know, won with Kanye and Heavy D, but not from like this, like my own.
Yeah.
And so I was,
oh, that's special. That's special. How far back do you guys go? When did y'all meet?
Around 92.
92.
Oh my God.
Were you born there?
Yes, I was. I'm 42. I was born in 82. I was 10. Yes.
92,
Yeah.
And, you know, Pete, he had a group, Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
Yeah.
One of the greatest groups in hip-hop. And they created one of the greatest songs, They Reminisce Over You, along with all the albums.
All right.
So when I come across him, I was like, man, this is Pete Rock. So, you know, I was grateful to just be around him. I got to know him. We did some work early on in the 90s, just a song here and there, something for one of his albums, another song we did, but we had never done a whole project together.
Why now? Why did that come about? How?
Timing was perfect.
Okay.
You know, sometimes in the music business, you could just feel when it's a good time to put good music out.
Yeah.
And
hip hop.
That's the time you want to do it, and you need to do it.
Yeah, and when, you know, Kelly, you and I were talking about it, it's like you want to do things from when you're really inspired. I was really inspired. Like, celebrating hip hop, its 50th year, made me just recognize how important this culture is and how beautiful the music is. And how many people still yearn for that sound. So I've been getting beats from Pete, and then it was like, Pete, we got to get together. I went out to his house, and it was just like, this is the synergy. This is what God wants us to do. And we just was able to just sit there and just bond as human beings, as men, throughout our journeys. We've known each other for a long time, but we came back together as brothers and just was like...
And grown. So you're making different records when you're grown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because people will say, the first records, because you're introduced to people, but it is a different space to create in. You're wiser, in life, and there's more life that has been lived that you can
Been
reference.
through a ton of stuff, too, in the music business.
Yeah, the ups and downs.
It changes you.
Those are usually my favorite records. When somebody's, the wine has aged a bit. So where did the title come from, the Auditorium? Where'd that come from? He pointed.
Well, the Auditorium was something a title that I thought about just because I actually was seeing Smokey Robinson talk about how he created some of his first songs because he had a play he was doing in the Auditorium. And I was like, it made me think of my childhood, and that was the first place where I got to perform or do any type of artistic expression was the Auditorium.
Yeah,
and,
it's a creative space for that.
It's a creative space.
Yeah.
So I liked the sound of the title, and then later that day I rode by a store in New York that was called the Auditorium, and I was like, man, that word is sticking with me. So I said, man, Pete, what you think about the title Auditorium?
And he didn't love it right off the bat, right?
No. He initially was like, okay, cool. He just kept going with it. But then maybe 2 months later, he was like, you know what? I don't like that title, Auditorium.
Auditorium. Why are we calling it the Auditorium?
Then I tried it out on a track we was making. I started saying it at the end of a record.
At the end of
just to see what it felt like and what it sounded like.
Yeah.
I still wasn't with it.
Yeah, you're like, and still, no, hard pass.
No.
Wait, what won you over?
I had to think about it a few days, and then it really equaled to the music that we were making.
Yeah.
So I felt like, my life in school, I spent a lot of it in the auditorium, expressing myself through music in the auditorium. So,
That auditorium is what
sense.
kept my grades up.
Exactly.
I couldn't participate in anything in the auditorium if I didn't keep my grades up.
Yeah, so we feel like this music, we bringing people to our auditorium.
Yeah.
We all celebrating this art in the auditorium.
That's my basement on stage, yo.
Yeah.
I know, I love that. I love the concept of that. It's very, very cool. So how has your working relationship, we were talking about now you're grown, right? And it's, you met in the 90s. How has it evolved, your working relationship?
Grown men.
Yeah.
I've learned to settle down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, too, one thing I noticed, as soon as we started working, it was like our conversations were real, life talk. We were talking about life and being fathers or even what therapy means to us or what, it's just sports, too, but it just was like, man, we were open to being, vulnerable human beings.
Yeah.
And being vulnerable was something, when we were younger, the way we were raised, we had to stay cool, stay keep it, to survive in a way or just to make it. But once, I feel like as grown men, Pete and I just was like, hey, man, I've been through some stuff, you've been through some stuff. We love each other, let's create, man.
Yeah,
and
let's get it.
We just had that conversation.
I love that. So I'm curious, what do you think is a great characteristic? What's a sign of a great producer?
Versatility, being able to make all kinds of music, not just pigeonhole.
That's a sign of a great artist.
Yes,
Yeah.
Just not do one sound. Vary off, go left, go right.
Why limit yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good answer.
That's a big way to express yourself.
Who's one of your favorite producers in music? I'm sorry, I ain't trying to...
No, I want to know.
I have to say this.
We'll be back with Common and Kelly. It flows. It's a nice flow.
I'm going to have to say Soul Brother #1, James Brown.
James Brown.
Wait, wasn't James Brown one of your first concert? Was that your first concert?
First concert for me. I met him when I was 7 years old.
First concert?
Me and my younger brother, my mom, God bless my mother, she took us to see him.
Because she's cool as hell.
Yeah. He came to Mount Vernon, where I'm from, Mount Vernon, New York.
Yeah.
And he came and did a show, and my mother took us backstage to meet him, and I swear.
What?
Yep, when I touched his hand, I think that's when I became Pete Rock.
What a great story. What was your first concert?
Man, my first concert was the Jackson 5.
Oh my
Michael
God.
Jackson, yeah.
Okay.
So, and I was in Chicago at Comiskey Park, and I was on my stepfather's shoulders because I wasn't tall enough to see everything, so he put me on his shoulders, and I watched that concert, and I was like, I want to be something in life. Like, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I remember it affecting
me. You can recognize
like
the
that.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah. I love that feeling.
Yeah.
I love at 42 still going to like shows. And it's not every show you go to, but you go to a show sometimes and you're like, wow, that I left the theater, I left the stage, I left there going, I gotta create something.
Oh, I love that. That's
Me too.
I love, that's why a lot of plays I get that from, and then some live performances I get that. It's this artist I love named Cleo Soul.
It births us. It really births us. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Your dad was a DJ, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like your love of music kind of started there?
Yes.
You were always around it? Because if it's a DJ, playing a lot of different things.
Of course, he was a record collector. He's Jamaican. You know, we're Jamaican. My family's Jamaican, and he brought his record collection from Jamaica to New York, and I just dove in them records. You know, 3 years old, and I didn't know what I was doing. Then he showed me what vinyl was all about.
Oh, wow. That's so lucky. I didn't really even find out about vinyl until I was like in my 20s.
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't even know because we were poor. We didn't have
It's all good.
We were lucky we had a boombox.
Yeah,
so like,
same thing.
but it is. I found that world and like, and I know it sounds like such a tool artist thing to say, but the sound of it, especially those old ones, like, oh, I love it.
Vibes.
You're like transported to the time.
I love records, first of all. My first record was like Stevie Wonder's Hotter Than July. I remember getting that. But listen, last year, I put on a record. I put on Nat King Cole's Christmas.
Yeah.
And what I noticed about it, playing that record, it made me listen to every song. Because, you know, with the record, you're not going to go just keep skipping stuff. I would have to get up. So I love records for that reason, too. Like, it makes you listen to the whole album, and then you turn it over to the other side and listen to it.
And his voice, that's why I gave him vinyl, the Christmas vinyl. I gave him that. And it's, his voice and like Bing Crosby, it's like when I hear those voices, like Christmas has begun. They are like, they are Christmas to me. Like move over, Santa. Like that's all I need is those voices. It sounds so good. All right, everybody, give it up again for Pete Rock and